I want to bring you some breaking news regarding the situation in Ukraine. We know America's deadline for President Putin to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine has entered its final day. Well, we're hearing from our colleagues at NBC News that a senior White House official has said that a Trump-Putin summit is tentatively scheduled for the end of next week. The location's still being discussed, the official said, but possibilities include the UAE, Hungary, Switzerland, potentially Rome as well. Any more detail or logistics are still unclear. It's a fluid situation, they said. We still don't know the exact date or even whether Ukrainian President Zelensky would be involved. The officials saying the Russians have provided a list of demands for a potential ceasefire. Let's bring in our US correspondent, David Blevins, who's in Washington for us. David, what more can you tell us?
Well, we know that the negotiations are certainly at a very sensitive stage, not least because we've had a formal statement from the White House Press Secretary, Caroline Leavitt, who says, out of respect for our sensitive diplomatic discussions with Russia, Ukraine and our European allies, the White House will not comment on alleged details in the news media. So these details are coming from officials behind the scenes at the White House who are now indicating that at least a meeting is tentatively scheduled for next week. They haven't got an exact date or location, as you say, just listing the possibilities of the United Arab Emirates, Hungary, Switzerland and Rome. It's interesting that they are confirming what the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, said a few days ago, that they have a clearer indication now of what Russia's ask would be in return for calling a ceasefire. Of course, the Ukrainians have long said that they're not prepared to concede any territory that Russia has invaded. So we'll be watching very closely today to see what happens regarding sanctions. It is 10 days since Donald Trump set that 10 or 12-day deadline for Russia to call a ceasefire or face further sanctions. Certainly it was our understanding last night that those sanctions would go ahead. And it may seem strange to you that they would still be considering sanctions if a meeting has been tentatively scheduled between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. But remember, the Americans bombed Iran just hours before they managed to broker a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. So perhaps that's not that unusual. And the president, meanwhile, continues to clock up the peace deals. He's meeting with the leaders of Azerbaijan and Armenia later this afternoon to announce that he's managed to broker a ceasefire there too.